Hello everyone, my name is Tenzing and I am a junior researcher at the BMS lab in the brain-computer interfacing testbed. The goal of my research is to gain insight into mental workload in order to stimulate healthy and successful learning and working. So the first step in this whole process is to determine whether I can even infer mental workload from different physiological signals. So during this video we're going to go over the different signals that I'm using, how I connect them all together, and how I will do data interpretation. And then hopefully by the end of it you'll have a better idea of what brain-computer interfacing is and how it all works in this project. So the first device that I'm using in my research is the Bright 24 by Artenis Medical Systems. This device shoots near-infrared light through the skull into the brain, and this light then diffracts in the brain and then comes out and is detected by the device again. So when a part of the brain is suddenly more active, it has a higher oxygen demand, and therefore the ratio of deoxy versus oxyhemoglobin changes, and with that the light scatters differently. So the device can detect this relative change. So this relative change basically indicates how much activity has changed since we started looking or started measuring. So with the information retrieved from the device and information about what the participants are doing at every time point, we can infer mental workload. The second device is an eye tracker made by Tobii. It's called the Tobii Pro Fusion, and I use this to track eye movements, obviously, and also to determine when participants blink and how often they look around. So this helps me to determine the difference between when participants are focusing on the task or when they're more in a sort of downtime period. So last but not least, I'm using a shimmer to measure heart rate and sweat gland response. So the heart rate is measured with a tiny light on the earlobe, and the sweat gland response is measured with electrodes on the index and middle finger. And these modalities are often used to measure stress and valence, respectively. All modalities so far are often used to gain insight into mental workload, emotional valence, stress, etc. So when you combine them, you can expect them to be even more powerful. And of course, all this data is pretty meaningless without solid processing and interpretation. So far, I've been able to build a pipeline for data gathering, data synchronization, and data pre-processing. So now that I've collected all of this data and pre-processed it, built it into nice little chunks, I can start the fun part, which is really the building of a giant neural network that can take all the input data from different devices and classify it into different levels of workload. So I'll be working on that the coming few months, probably. And then I'll actually need to gather some data with participants, but given the state of campus right now, that might be a bit of a challenge. Anyway, I hope to see you guys around, maybe at the BMS lab, maybe in some videos. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.